What's going on, amazing road runners? It's your boy C-Dub, aka Whit, bringing you guys my first Ontario race this year. But this one specifically is the Easter race, and I am so excited about being able to do this. Please check out the other vid of the actual vlog. This is going to be the category 4-5, the category 4-5 race. The race is about 30 minutes long, so this video is roughly about 30 minutes long. Again, thank you for clicking the vid. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and spend this quality time with me, your boy C-Dub, aka Whit. As you see right now, I'm sitting on Peter Verth's wheel of DNA CBS Cycling, and I have Irvin on my wheel, if you look in the bottom left, which is my rear camera footage. Hey guys, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I ask that you would take that moment and please click that red subscribe button to the bottom left, or if you would hover over my logo, that Whit logo you see at the bottom left as well. If you hover over that, you will see that some little box will pop up, and click that subscribe button and join the Whit Road Runner family. I'm currently sitting on Travis's wheel, Travis Leonardi, out of, I believe, roughly about Marietta area in California, and we are making our way. This race went down at about 12:45. There was roughly 23 riders in this race, and again, 4 corners, kind of like 5 corners. And as you see, we're coming up. This is a short little segment here. You see the course layout in the top right. We got all my data at the bottom. So right now we're going about 25 miles an hour. Heartbeat is at 170, and we're going about 400. Just roughly at that time was going about 400 watts. And currently now just over 150 watts, doing 100 revolutions per minute. This section right here in the race is actually a little downhill. As you see, it's -0, which I think that's just nothing. But right now, coming up on Melissa of Go Fast. Yes, I said it, Melissa of Go Fast. We had 1 female in the race, and so I really applaud her for hanging in here with us. I believe she got 17th overall. But right now, again, I'm sitting on Travis's wheel, and we are making our way. My goals for this race was 1, to finish. My second goal was to stay with the lead group. And my third goal was to stay out of the wind and don't do any pulling, but stay present in this race. And so hopefully you guys will see if I accomplish these goals or not once we make it all the way to the end. Again, this video is roughly about 29 minutes and 1 second, but we'll see how that plays out in the end. So right now we're just making our way up. We're on the back side. We are roughly going up to turn number 3. And this is Serious Cycling right here in front of me. And his name is Josu, and he is with Serious Cycling. And they had about 4 or 5 riders in this race. So Serious Cycling had a really good showing at this race. And the interesting thing with them, they had 3 different kits on in this particular race. They had a white kit, they have this gray kit right here, as you see to my 1 o'clock, and then the guy in front of him, which is a teammate, so they're also their blue kit. So they had a white, gray, and a blue kit in this race. And that's one thing that I've learned. You really have to stay engaged and have to stay mindful of, is that some of these teams will wear multicolored kits to kind of throw you off. And so you will see at portions of this race where I'm behind 3 Serious Cycling guys and just trying to stay really in tune with what they got going on so that nobody would go off the front. And if I didn't have the ability to go off the front with them, I would tell somebody else, hey, don't let that get away. So again, I'm sitting on Travis Leonardi's wheel. As you see there to my 1 o'clock of breakaway right here in the gray kit. This is Gilberto, excuse me, I mean to butcher your name, of Breakaway Cycling, which is out of Las Vegas. There in the blue kit right there, that is Patrick English. And we're just out here getting it in. So again, as you see, we're going about 26 miles an hour. My heart rate is again at 165. So my heart rate is doing really, really, really well, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm kind of at the back of the peloton a little bit right here. You see there's not many riders behind me, but here I am coming up on Furman's wheel. So this is Furman of Serious Cycling. Again, this is the white kit of Serious Cycling. So as I mentioned before, they had about 4 or 5 riders in this race, but yet they were wearing 3 different kits. So that made it very, very interesting. So we have Jorge right there in the black kit. We have Melissa right there in the purple Go Fast kit. And so we're just making our way as we're progressing up. You see we're hitting 29 miles an hour. My heart rate's at 177. There's a little bit of a gap in me, but I'm coming up on Gilberto's wheel. So I was able to close that down successfully and stay with the front group. As you see right now, the front group is actually pace lined out. So we're making our way through the final turn as we come, and this starts to bend kind of right. So it's pretty much four left-hand turns and then like a right bend. So when I was doing some course layout reconnaissance and watching videos, I was really trying to figure out what is the line that I need to take. And the line that I figured I need to take was pretty much stay inside. And so if you would notice through these previous laps that I have done, I've been trying my best to stay on the inside. And then once I realized, once we came around that final bend, coming to the sprint finish, I realized that I need to figure out where I need to be there. And so ultimately, I felt that the best line to take after that last little left-hand turn would be middle. Not really hugging the left side too much, not hugging the right side too much, because the left side's line would be too long. The right side line, you could actually get pinched up against the curb. But I felt that the middle line was the best line, and you will see how I did once we get to the sprint finish. So right now I have Melissa on my wheel. I'm currently sitting on Gilberto's wheel. Man, I'm butchering his name. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna just start calling you Gil for the sake of butchering your name. So you see right here, Melissa's going up the road. I'm sitting on Gil's wheel. He's sitting on Irvin's wheel, his teammate. So we're making way, going 25 miles an hour. My heart rate's at 175 beats per minute. I'm actually cruising right now, coasting. You see the watts is really low. My RPMs are about 79 RPMs right now. So we're making our way right here. So you got a little bit of action going on behind me in the bottom left of the camera or the footage, and you see we're moving. This I really like this Ontario course. It's pretty smooth. I mean, there is a bumpy section which is between turns number 1 and turns number 2, but for the most part, this is a really, really nice course. It's very fast because where we are right now, coming to the start finish, is actually downhill. So right now I'm sitting on Nate's wheel. And he did a great job in the race, really made it active, and you guys will see that a little later once we get there. So of course, as you know, I've already had to kind of pre-look through this course, pre-look through the race, because I want to get everybody's names. So I'm not calling people by just bibs and by bikes, but actually by names, because our parents gave us a name, and so we should use that the best of our ability. So you'll see me not mention certain riders because I wasn't able to identify who they were by number, so I don't call anybody the wrong name. But currently right now I'm sitting on the inside of Irvin. I believe that's Irvin right there. So sitting on the inside of Irvin as Irvin sits on Peter Verth's wheel. We got Jorge up there in the black Rafa kit, and I can't see who's up in front of them. So right now, just tucked in, you see I'm kind of staying in the middle of these two guys. I have Nate to my left, I have Irvin to my right, and just kind of stay in the middle. Coming up on Jorge right now, I was gonna go inside, or outside, I had this guy right here, and we're just making our way. So Melissa comes out the saddle. We're going around Alex right there with the black kit, the orange Specialized bike. But since Melissa came out the saddle and moved up, I just jumped on her wheel and enjoyed the draft. So thank you for presenting me, my goodness, I can't talk, presenting me a draft. So moving up, I think these two guys right here are U23 guys. This guy to my left is Roman. I picked up in this race that he has he's very quick. Like, he can turn those pedals over very fast. It's probably because he's a junior, but at the same time, he's able to close down gaps extremely fast. And so, now seeing this after the race is over, I was like, man, that would have been a good wheel to really sit on. So this guy here, he flips his elbow like we're in a group ride. He flips his elbow, which was kind of interesting, but he let this big old gap open up. Roman shot up. I just sat in the saddle and just closed this thing down. You see I'm going 33 miles an hour. My heart rate's up a little bit. It's at 183. I don't hit the brakes, so I just come past Roman a little bit so that I wouldn't waste any of that energy, waste any of that effort, and just let them come back underneath me, and I jump back on. I have somebody here to my left, so you see I'm off to the right a little bit, coming up on Irvin and Peter, who probably went off the front. And so right there we got Alex and we got Roman right here side by side. So I jump on Alex's wheel, and we're making our way through turn number 3. We're currently at about 9 minutes and 40 seconds in this video. This video is 29 minutes long, ladies and gentlemen. So again, I ask that you would please bear with me. Or if you don't have time, just go ahead and forward to the last 20, go ahead and forward up to 27 minutes, and then you'll see how the end finishes. But if not, thank you for sitting in here, hunkering in, having your tea, having your coffee, having your drink of beverage, and enjoying this video with me as I give you this commentary. And again, if you have not yet subscribed to the family, I ask that you would take that moment of time and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, if you do not have a YouTube account, I ask that you would pause the video right here. That is okay. Pause the video right here, come back and subscribe to the family. All right, so right now I'm sitting on Furman's wheel of Serious Cycling. I have Roman to my left, and we got Alex going underneath. And this was a really good race. This was really nice. As you see here, I'm up to the front, staying with the main group. So trying to accomplish goal number 2 by staying with the front group. My first goal is to finish. Well, we'll see what happens in the end. But right now, I can at least say I'm checking the box of goal number 2 by staying with this front group. So I got Alex right here to my left, about my 11 o'clock. And as you see, we have 2 Serious Cyclist guys up in front of him. And I'm not even sure if there's another Serious Cycling guy pulling the peloton. But right now we got Melissa in the rear camera, we got Travis in the rear camera, we have Jorge in the rear camera, and so we're making our way. We're doing good. My heart rate is at 169, so I've kind of recovered a little bit. We're going about 25 miles an hour, and I'm putting out just over 150, now I'm putting out over 200 watts. So we're making our way. So you see there, we got 3 Serious Cycling guys up the front. We have up there, we have Hosu, Furman, and then one of their other teammates. And we see here Roman staying really engaged with that. We have Alex here paying attention to that. And I believe I was talking to them, letting them know, hey, this is a team right here. These guys are all on the same team. So don't let any of that go. Don't let the front guy in the blue kit just pull off the front, because these 2 guys right here, Furman and Hosu, could actually block. So then we got Gage going underneath right there with the, I believe it's a yellow old school, it looked like an old school tarmac, but he goes underneath. You see Gage is off the front right there. Nobody really responds to that because he's going solo. And I've learned, in a Cat 4, especially a Cat 4-5 race, there's not going to be many guys that will go off the front solo. Now, if you get 2 guys, it happened to me in Victorville. 2 guys were in a breakaway at Victorville, the Victorville Crit that happened on a Sunday. Those 2, because of that strong headwind, they were able to work that thing out, and we could not catch them. But right now, a single man breakaway probably will more likely not hold. So you got not many people responding to that. But you see, we have Patrick pull up. We got a guy right here out of the saddle. I think that is another Serious Cycling guy, which his name is Eliseo. He comes up to the front. And so you got Roman, we got Alex, we got Patrick, we got Eliseo up there. We got Hosu right here. So everybody is kind of fighting to stay in the front. I'm not looking to be up there. So my third goal was to remain with the front group, don't pull, stay out of the wind. So I'm trying to check mark that box. So hopefully I will be able to do that successfully. And I'm looking forward to you guys leaving down in the comment section below, even following this video. Leave me some goals. Give me something to work towards, and I'll pick and choose what goals I go after. But right now you see Jorge and you see Travis in my rear camera fighting for my tire. And it's funny because after the race, Jorge came to me and he told me, he said, bro, thank you for your draft. Your draft is amazing. And as I have shared with you guys before, I provide a good draft. And I told him, I said, shut up, man. Leave me alone. And we all laughed about it or whatever. But right now you see Melissa, she just came up. You got Peter Wirth on her wheel coming up. You got Irvin on Peter's wheel. And Irvin was really watching Peter because Peter, he's an endurance guy. He's a long-winded guy. And so Irvin was really hanging with him. And I told Irvin after the race, I said, man, y'all, you and him trying to keep doing these breakaways and pulling away. I said, eventually it's going to stick. But right now you got Nate off to the right-hand side. And you see kind of how like I was fanned out. So I was in the wind a little bit, but I came back inside, got behind Melissa and trying to stay behind. Here's Gage right here. Gage has been caught. We have Hosu on the inside. We have Melissa right here. So again, I got some players right in front of me. And if you look at the rear view camera, we have Gil behind me. We got Travis behind me. And I'm not sure, I think that's Roman. Roman is sitting behind me as well. So right now I'm sitting on Melissa's wheel as we come through the start finish. So right now we've made it through the start finish. I think they're ringing a bell. I did not go for any preems in this race. And that's one thing that I want to try to maybe do because I have a goal that I want to utilize my preem money to, but we'll see what happens with that in the near future if I can successfully do that. But at the same time, I do want to get on the podium. I do want to win some races. So I really have to pick and choose what races I really go after preems, or if I sit in and try to race a little bit more wisely on so I can recover and then hopefully have a better showing. So right now, sitting on Patrick's wheel to my 1 o'clock, and I have Gage right here. I got Gil right there about 2 o'clock, and we're making our way, going about 25 miles an hour on this backside. My heart rate is 174. This side over here had a little bit of a climb. As you see, we have a 1% grade, and I got Roman on the rear tire. I have, I believe that is Travis back there behind me, and a few other cats. So we're doing a great job. So we got Jorge up here sitting on Melissa's wheel. I'm sitting on Patrick's wheel right there next to Gil, and all is well. 25 miles an hour, 174 beats per minute, 62 revolutions per minute, not putting out much watts right there, just coasting. And as I mentioned before, I really try to continue to keep my legs spinning, not do too much coasting. But at the same time, I've realized that just a little bit of coasting actually helps the legs to not have to stress for a moment. And that moment of less stress makes the legs feel a little better. So some stress is good, some stress is not. So you see Roman goes underneath. Patrick, he responds, he jumps on that. Nobody really responds to it. They just let that go. And I'm just sitting here behind Melissa, and we're making our way to see what takes place here in this course. So right now we're going 30 miles an hour. So we're moving right now. My heart rate's at 172. So going 30 miles an hour and my heart only being 172 is pretty good. This section right here is where it's bumpy at, between turns number 1 and turns number 2. It's really bumpy in this area, but for the most part, it's a good course. And that's why you see they have the cones there, because as the race official told us at the beginning of the course, that the inside of those cones is actually really broken up and really sandy and not really good for us as riders. So you see Patrick all the way to the right over there. He's actually looking now to sit in. You got Gil coming underneath, moving up. I'm sitting on Josu's wheel. We got Melissa right there. I got Jorge behind me. I got Travis behind me. So I'm tucked in really good. I'm tucked in. Nobody's underneath me right now. Actually, yeah, nobody's underneath me right now. And so we're doing good. I'm sitting on Josu's wheel, and we're making our way. So you got Roman up there. It seems like we're about to pull him back in. He's inside, kind of figuring out what he wants to do, but we're making our way. Sitting on Josu's wheel, and I realized that Sirius Cycle was trying to set something up. They were really controlling the front of this race, and so I was trying to stay mindful of it and trying to just stay on whatever man's wheel of Sirius Cycling, especially that was in front of me. It could have been Furman, it could have been Josu, it could have been any of the Sirius Cycling guys, and I was trying to stay with them because they had most players in this course. So momentum caused me to go outside right there, so I just let it go. I didn't want to try to stay too tight and cause any issues, so I just rolled outside of Josu, and then we just keeping it moving. So I also realized that when you take a drink, you slow down, which that's kind of a double whammy. Like you take a drink, or double-edged sword is you take a drink to get hydrated, but then you slow down just a little bit because you're not really pedaling and putting any watts down. So that's a good time to be passed or get passed or pass somebody when they're actually hydrating. So right now we're all tucking in, and you see Josu there shaking out his hands because we're in these aero positions for extended periods of time, and it does take a toll on us. Hands go numb a little bit, but a little bit of a shakeout and blood seems to come back in the hands really well. So right now sitting on Peter Verth's wheel, and got Patrick behind me, got Roman to my right, and we're making our way. We got some hitters in the back that I didn't really see up here in front of me or too close to me to get their numbers to be able to call them by name. But this was a really good race. I like Ontario, and I remember doing Ontario last year, and it really motivated me to try a little bit harder and to maybe get a better placings in the race, better finishes in these races. And I thought I had my last year Ontario Easter race, but apparently I don't. But I do have the season ender for Ontario last year. So that video is up in the channel. And I ask that you would check out some of my other videos, from Fiesta Islands to Wednesday night circuit training, race series, to flow hosts or donut rides, or even check out some of the actual USA cycling races, from CBR to Ladera Ranch to Dana Point, which is no longer this year, to Manhattan Beach. You know, within my just over a year of racing, I have traveled up and down these highways, and I really enjoy racing. I really enjoy coming out, seeing all my friends. I enjoy making new friends. Like, I met Nate this week. I met a few different people just yesterday. And for those of you watching this video now, and I don't know how your Sunday went, but I'm gonna say to you, happy Easter, happy belated Easter, happy belated Resurrection Day. And so I hope you can receive that from your boy, C-Dub, aka Crit Whit. Also, we're at 20 minutes, so we got about 9 minutes left in this video as I sit on Alessio's wheel. I'm gonna take another moment to just ask that you would hit that subscribe button. If you're watching, and I know that my analytics may be lying to me, but for now, I'm gonna take it for what it's worth. I ask that if you are watching this video, this commentary video, and you have not yet subscribed, help your boy out. I'm trying to get to 1,000. Hit that subscribe button, and don't hit it again. Don't unsubscribe from the channel. I need you guys. I'm looking forward to entertaining you guys and sharing this experience of life behind bars, these races, and Crit Whit so much more than just me. I have a vision. I have goals, and I have ambitions that I really want to do and capture and share with you. And if some of you all know and follow me on Instagram, which is crit.wit on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook, Garnett Whitmire III. And of course, you got me here on YouTube. I am out there. I'm not hard to find. I'm trying to get my son into cycling. So support the cause. I'm really trying to promote cycling and put cycling out there. And I know a lot of people are, but there's not a lot of, just being honest, African Americans that are doing it. We're trying. And I'm coming in contact with a lot of men and women, African American men and women of color, that are really trying to promote and putting cycling out there, just because cycling is a community of colors. So we're all out here, we're all getting in. I mean, there's been Indian people, there's been Hispanics, there's been blacks, there's been whites. I mean, you name it, Colombian, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, you name it, I've seen it. And I just want to encourage the masses about this event, this athleticism, this sport. I just love it. So I'm letting my passion drive me, and I want to share this with the nation. That not everybody is a Tour de France rider. You got Criterium riders, you got road races, you got BMX, you got cyclocross. Life behind bars on two wheels. We can do it, and help me get that word out by hitting that subscribe button. And also ask that you would share my series with the masses. So right now I'm sitting on Alessio's wheel. You see that Gil just came up. And I may be getting them mixed up. I'm not sure if that's Gil or that might be, I think that's Gil. Gil right there. Yeah, because there's Irvin on the outside with the black helmet. So I'm going on the inside of Alessio, coming up, and there's Peter. So right now you see a lot of guys coming on the outside. We're roughly at 23 minutes in this race, and we're making our way. Peter's out of the saddle. You know, just keep putting some watts down and keep moving forward. And we're going through turn number, I guess you call it turn number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, turn number 5 as we come to the start finish. So you see Furman right there with the white kit. You see Peter Verth right here in front of me. That's Gage right there. As we come up on Travis, Melissa, and Jorge, we're coming up, just went through the start finish. And we are at 23 minutes with about 6 minutes to go. So I'm going to say we have about 3 laps to go. 3 laps remaining at this point. So I'm on Peter's wheel. We go inside. You see, we pass a lot of people. Passed probably about 7 people there. Pulls me back up to the front. So you see, right now I'm sitting roughly about 4th or 5th wheel. I believe we got a man off the front, and then there's 3 people right here. I believe the 2 guys in the front are Serious Cycling. You got Hosu right here. So again, I left that gap open because I felt like they were doing something. So I left that gap there so that he would come in so I could just sit on his wheel. And so I assumed that they were doing something for him because he was up front like one time. And then everything else, he's kind of been hanging back, letting his other guys do the work. And so I said, okay. I said, all right, I think this is their sprinter. Or at least he's the one who has the good legs today. And so I believe that they're going to work for him or do something for him. And Serious Cycling really had a good showing. So right now I'm sitting on Josu's wheel as he sits on on Peter Verth's wheel. Peter Verth is sitting on Furman's wheel. Furman's sitting on a teammate's wheel. Somebody's up front pulling. It may be Alex. I'm not sure who's up front pulling, but I have Jose and Travis on my wheel again. So Travis was really bucking for my wheel, just as Jose was bucking. But you know what? That's what it's all about. That's what cycling is. So I'm sitting comfortably on Josu's wheel. Travis takes the inside line. He didn't really follow the peloton or the group, so he comes underneath, so he took a shorter line. And so what Josu did, Josu let him in. Why? Because that let Josu have another person who he can actually let work for him. You know, it takes him away from the front because he's the one planning on, because he knows for sure he has two guys working for him. And you got Roman coming up. I believe we have 2 laps to go. We're currently at 25 minutes and 37 seconds. So now you see Josu, he takes a short line like Travis just did, which puts him right back up here where his teammates are. So we got Eliseo off the front right now, and we got 2 Serious Cycling guys sitting side by side. Josu was going to go for it, but I think his teammates said, hey, settle down. So now what I feel like they're doing is they're blocking. They're blocking in efforts, and here we go. We got Furman. So we got all 4 Serious Cycling guys on the front. So I think Peter Verth, he noticed that. Peter Verth went after that. We got Alex up here as well, trying to contain it, to stay connected with it. I jump on Alex's wheel. We're going 30 miles an hour. There's a gap behind me. If you look at that rear camera, my heart rate's at 179. We're going 30 miles an hour, and this is uphill a little bit. And we're coming to turn number 3. And you still got Eliseo off the front. You got Peter Verth chasing. And we got Serious Cycling kind of keeping the momentum going, trying to really break that elasticity. We got Roman on my wheel right now, and everything is moving. Like, we have 2, I think once we come to the start finish, this may be the final lap. I go inside to get back up on Josu's wheel. So now I'm back on Josu's wheel. So now, again, as you see, the pace slows down a little bit as we come through turn number 5. You see how it bends left right here? And then you'll see we're going to kind of veer to the right. And this is where I had to say, okay, where is my line? What line am I going to take sprinting to the start finish? So we're at 27 minutes, 23 seconds. This is the last lap. So right now we have Jorge in front of me. I had to push him. If you didn't notice, I had to push him a little bit because he was closing down that lane and he was actually about to hit my front wheel. And so I'm so tired of my front wheels getting messed with. So I pushed him up a little bit just to give my front wheel some room. We got Travis right here coming underneath. And again, now you got Travis and you got Jorge now fighting for Peter Verth's wheel. And I'm just sitting behind them seeing what's going to happen, what's going to take place here. We got some Serious Cycling up front. So we're just pushing. We're going 27 miles an hour. My heart rate's at 172, which is really, really good. Pushing over 500 watts. Revolutions per minute is 91. Now it's dropped back to 90. So I'm on Travis's wheel. I have Roman on my wheel. We got Nate coming underneath. Watch Nate dive in this corner. Look at Nate. Man, he took that, made it through safely. So I got Patrick on my left-hand side coming underneath Travis. I have Irvin on the outside. Travis is hurting, so he's falling back. So I jump on Patrick's wheel. We got Roman coming underneath me. We got Irvin on the outside trying to make moves. Because now we're coming to the finish. We're coming up on turn number 4. I'm going to go inside. The inside is open, so I go inside. We got Nate right here. We got Roman. We got Jorge. We got Furman. We got Josu, we got Peter Verth, we got all these people up here. So I take the outside line. The line I didn't want to take, I had to go outside because Nate was right there. Roman took the inside line. I have 5 guys in front of me. If you look at the rear camera, I got Patrick on the wheel. Nobody's coming over top of me. Your boy got 6th place, guys. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next Whit, your boy C-Dub, aka Crit Whit. Peace.